Some legends don't begin under stadium lights or the roar of thousands. They begin with the soft breath of a quiet city by the Parana River. And from that forgotten corner of the world came a boy, so small people thought a breeze could knock him over. No one knew that from those silent feet, football itself would be changed forever. This is the story of Lionel Messi, the child who drifted through life like a whisper of wind and became a legend not through strength, but through magic. In the early morning, Rosario glowed with a gentle light, soft as the breath of the Parana River. For decades, that small city had been so peaceful that sometimes it seemed to forget the vast world outside. But in 1987, in a little brick house in the neighborhood of La Bajada, where the walls were stained and children's laughter echoed from dawn to dusk, a baby was born. A baby the world would one day know by a single name, Messi. From his earliest years, Lionel spoke very little. He was small, thin, and almost timid before everything around him. But whenever he touched a ball, something inside him ignited. The boy doesn't run, his grandmother Celia once said with a hint of pride. He glides. No one knew what she meant, but those who had seen Messi play in the tiny alley in front of the house nodded. It was true. He didn't run. He slipped through life like a gust of wind. At 4 years old, his father, Jorge, took him to the Grandoli Club. The first time the coach saw Messi, he frowned. He's too small. One bump from the others and he'll go flying into a wall. But within 5 minutes, he realized his mistake. Messi wasn't just skillful, he danced with the ball. Other kids chased it. Messi moved with it. But beauty often walks hand in hand with challenge. When Messi turned 9, Jorge noticed that his son's growth had strangely stalled. He remained tiny, his narrow shoulders delicate like a light breeze. Others grew taller each day. Messi stayed like a leaf forgotten in the middle of spring. One night, during a modest family dinner, Celia quietly asked, "Jorge, you need to take the boy to the doctor. He's not growing." Her voice trembled, though no one knew whether from worry or love. The public hospital in Rosario was cramped and cold. After hours of waiting, the doctor came out with a difficult expression. He explained using words a child like Messi couldn't grasp: a growth hormone deficiency. But Messi understood this much. People no longer looked at him the way they used to. Jorge immediately asked how much treatment would cost. The number the doctor gave hit like a hammer: $1 a month. For a working-class family like theirs, it was impossible. But Messi's mother did not cry. She simply held her son's hand and said, "Listen to me, Leo. Some people grow with their bodies. Others grow with their hearts. You belong to the second kind. But your body will catch up eventually." Messi said nothing. He just looked down at the worn tips of his shoes. In those eyes was something no one could read: a silent stubbornness. A small dream shining like stadium lights. Still, the treatment required money. Messi's family began asking everywhere for help. They went to clubs, acquaintances, even small businesses hoping someone would sponsor the boy. But every time Messi walked into a room, people looked at him and shook their heads. He's too small. Rosario slowly became too cramped for them. But fate, the kind that tests before it gives, was preparing to open a door no one expected. One winter afternoon, when Messi was 11, he was invited to try out for Newell's Old Boys, the pride of the city. He appeared tiny as a shadow, but once the ball rolled, everyone present froze. He dribbled past each opponent as if they were merely passing breezes. The match ended with 10 goals, 8 belonged to Messi. Rumors of the strange boy spread across Rosario, then beyond, and in Barcelona, half a world away, a silver-haired man holding a cigarette stared at a screen and whispered, "My God, who is this kid?" The man watching the footage from Rosario was Carlos Rexach, sporting director of the famed La Masia Academy. He had seen thousands of young talents over the years, but something about this boy was different. Not the dizzying dribbles or the way the ball seemed glued to his foot. What startled Rexach was the boy's eyes, calm, quiet, yet glowing like someone who knew exactly what he was born to do. But even Rexach didn't expect that bringing the boy to Barcelona would be a journey rougher than any run down a pitch. The Messi family had no money. Newell's had no faith. They didn't believe any European club would pay medical expenses for a 13-year-old boy barely a meter and a half tall. In the end, all they could do was try their luck. In September 2000, Messi and his father boarded a plane to Spain. It was Leo's first time leaving Argentina. Sitting by the window, he pressed his forehead to the glass. watching clouds drift by like little dreams. He said nothing. Jorge glanced at his son and sighed. The father didn't know what awaited them, another rejection, or a miracle? Barcelona greeted them with swaying palm trees and skies so clear you could almost hear time slowing down. But beauty didn't help. The club hesitated. Messi was too small, too light, too uncertain. No one wanted to sign what they called a medical risk. While Jorge negotiated with the club, Messi kept training at La Masia. And there, the miracle happened. On his first training day, the local kids looked at him and burst out laughing. "Hey, little guy, are you in the wrong class?" Messi didn't answer. He walked onto the pitch, tied his shoes, and when the whistle blew, the field seemed to freeze. The boy from Rosario turned the session into a performance. He dribbled past 4 boys taller than him by a head, then placed the ball into the corner of the net as if it were the easiest thing in the world. No words, no unnecessary emotion, he just played, and the ball seemed content to be an extension of himself. The youth coach sighed to his assistant. "This is not a child. This is a raw instinct." Word reached Rexach. He rushed to the field. 10 minutes of watching Messi and he knew he had to make a decision. The club's hesitation, the unsigned documents, the endless meetings, he ignored it all. A talent like this could not be lost to bureaucracy. That evening, at a small bar near Castelldefel's beach, Rexach met Jorge to discuss matters, but he lacked the authority to sign an official contract. Everything stalled. In that heavy silence, Rexach suddenly reached for a napkin on the table. He pulled out a pen and scribbled, "I, Carlos Rexach, hereby agree to sign Lionel Messi under any circumstances." He signed it, pushed the napkin toward Jorge. They stared at each other without a word. It was not just a napkin. It was a passport for an Argentine boy to begin a journey toward legend. But 13-year-old Messi had no idea his future had just been decided. When his father returned with the unofficial contract, Messi was still in La Masia's old dormitory. Looking out the window, that night, Barcelona drizzled lightly, and the golden lights reflected on the ground like shimmering rolling balls. He thought of his mother, his brothers, Grandma Celia. He thought of the Rosario hospital and the sharp pain of hormone injections. He thought of the kids who had called him the dwarf. He thought of the place where he was born, half a world away. But above all, Messi thought of the ball. He knew he was small. He knew his body wasn't like the others. But he also knew this, on a pitch, no one could take away what he and the ball shared, an absolute understanding. A wordless love. That night, Messi fell asleep with his boots under his pillow, a habit the whole world would one day know. But no one knew that outside. The rain had stopped, and Barcelona's sky was opening to the stars of a new era. That autumn, Barcelona carried a chilly breeze like a warning. When Messi officially joined La Masia, all he had was a backpack, a few clothes, a pair of boots, and a heart full of unnamed dreams. But La Masia was no paradise. It was a forge, where boys aged 12 to 14 were thrown into a harsh environment to see who carried the rarest metal within. For many kids, the hardest thing was discipline. For Messi, the hardest thing was talking. The boy from Rosario barely opened his mouth. In the large dining hall, his teammates chatted loudly in Catalan, while Messi kept his head down, picking at pieces of cold bread. Many thought he was arrogant. The truth was that he was painfully shy, and part of him feared that if he spoke, his fragile voice would reveal just how vulnerable he was. But once on the pitch, that silence became something else, absolute focus. Youth coach Tito Villanova remembered clearly the first official training session Messi joined. That day, Tito had the team perform La Masia's famous high-speed triangle passing drill, where each player must read the others through each touch. The Spanish kids tapped the ball talk, talk in a steady rhythm. Messi stood quietly waiting for his turn. Head lowered, shoulders loose, arms hanging. He didn't look like a player at all. But when the ball reached him, everything changed. Talk. Messi passed as if he didn't need to look, as if the ball's path appeared in his mind before it moved. He wasn't the fastest or the strongest, but he moved like he could hear a music others couldn't. An older boy shouted, "Hey, pass it back here." Messi didn't reply. He simply lifted his foot and slid the ball through a gap no one thought possible. Tito watched, eyes wide. "The boy thinks in football," he muttered. Not thinking to analyze, thinking to feel. Messi wasn't a child learning football. He was a child born belonging to it. But even during those bright days, unpleasant sounds echoed. Mockery. Look, Tiny. Don't let the wind blow you away. Did you eat enough today? Messi heard everything but never reacted. He only shrank deeper into his oversized training shirt. One night, back in his room, he called his mother. His voice trembled. I want to come home. His mother was silent for a moment, then spoke like a soft breeze. Leo, you don't need to be strong. You just need to be brave. Strength belongs to others. Courage belongs to you. Messi bit his lip. He barely slept that night. The next morning, Messi arrived to training before everyone else. He placed the ball at midfield. Alone, he dribbled, changed direction, accelerated, shot, then retrieved the ball and repeated everything. Drops of sweat fell onto the freshly cut grass, shining like tiny stars. Tito watched from afar, arms crossed. He didn't call out, didn't say a word. He knew a warrior was forging himself. One February afternoon, Barcelona's youth team had a friendly match with Espanyol. The match wasn't important, but for La Masia's kids, it was a battle for pride. Tito decided to start Messi, though many protested because he was too small for a strong team. In the 10th minute, Messi received the ball at midfield. 3 Espanyol players rushed toward him. Spectators expected him to pass, but he didn't. Messi lowered his head, pushed the ball right, slipped past the first defender, then suddenly dragged it back, twisting the second player's hips. Finally, he spun in a tight circle, the ball sticking to his foot like a magnet. My God, a parent on the stands shouted. Messi glided past player after player, as if the field tilted beneath his feet. He entered the box. The goalkeeper lunged. Everyone thought he would shoot with his left, yet Messi gently flicked the ball to the right, then guided it into the far corner with the inside of his left foot. The net shook. The field went silent for a second, then exploded like a storm. But Messi didn't celebrate. He simply looked at the ball resting in the net, then walked away. Perhaps to him, a goal was just a whisper between him and the ball. Tito watched and knew. This was not just a talent. This was a star born from silence. From a tiny boy in Rosario to one of the greatest symbols the world has ever known. Messi's journey is more than football, it is faith, pain, and the courage of a soul born to play the beautiful game. And like all legends, his story lives on only when it is told by those who love football. If you want to keep discovering untold stories of the greatest players in history, don't forget to like, subscribe to Football Legend Stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. The next legend awaits you.